Wouldn't it be fabulous if we no longer needed to constantly get gas bottles filled? All that money and time saved to be used on other things. Well, it turned out to be easier and more economical than we had dreamed of to change to electric cooking. Come aboard Fantasia as we show you the ins and outs of the electric cooking revolution. You may well be surprised at how small our battery bank is and by how little electric power it actually takes to cook with. So even if you don't have a big solar system, you still may be experiencing many times when your batteries are fully charged, such as long periods of motoring or on those lovely sunny days. So why not give electric cooking a try? Lightweight induction tops are very economical. Back in the old days, our highest power draw was our anchor winch, where one draws about 1,000 watts for a few minutes. So moving to long periods of cooking with 1,000 to 2,000 watts seemed daunting, but is actually quite simple. With our updated solar system, we now had a great deal of excess power, which, if we didn't use for motoring, would simply be going to waste. So our voyage into electric cooking was born. We started with a simple 2,000 watt induction plate and were amazed at how much quicker it would boil water for our morning coffee. Okay, so here are some quick demonstrations showing how long our induction stove takes to boil 3 cups or 750 millilitres of water. So it's pulling just over 1 kilowatt, so that means there's 200 watts of solar input at the moment. It's a little bit cloudy. Now, I'm not saying this is super fast, but here are the same 3 cups boiled on our gas stove to underline what I'm so excited about. Put that on to boil and we'll set the timer. And you can see how the difference, oh yeah, it's getting hot already nearby, so that's quite the difference. And another thing we have trouble with the gas stove is that any wind that blows through very much slows the boiling process. So that's the great thing about the induction top. It doesn't get affected by wind. Often we have to go and close all the hatches and stop the wind blowing through. So I'll just go up and do something else while I wait for that to boil. Still not. There it goes. 7 minutes 20. Full whistle. Here I am cranking the power up to 2,000 watts. And you can see it only gets to the boil a small amount quicker and actually uses double the power. I'm unsure why this is in our situation, but these are the real world results we are having. Okay, so to put that power consumption in perspective, it takes 2 amps at 12 volts to boil a cup of water. So with our modest 400 amp hour lithium-ion battery bank, that means we could boil 200 cups of tea. Now, boiling water to make dishes like pasta was so much quicker, and we weren't using any expensive gas, just harvesting the sun's power. So successful was our induction plate that we began to dream of more. If only we had an electric oven and grill, then we wouldn't need our gas stove at all. After a brief inspection of economical air fryers, we settled on the Eurochef 1800 watt 16 litre model, which importantly fitted our bench space nicely. Now we had an oven and griller all in one and were immediately amazed by the results. It could make toast beautifully, which our gas griller had always been rather poor at. It wants to do it 200 degrees for 4 minutes. Let's have a look at the toast. Look at that. Oh boy, how good is that? Cooking sausages is so much easier than on a conventional cooktop, where it always proves fairly hard to cook them evenly as they curl up and misbehave. Sausages underway. Simple.
Oh, look at those.
The air fryer, on the other hand, does them so evenly without any turning. Okay, so now we've got the bread baking, and you can see we're pulling about 1.67 kilowatts, and we'll be doing that for about half an hour. So look at this great bread cooked in the hill inlet. Oh, look at that! It's a regular high top, but it's looking really good. And even on an overcast day, we've managed to have enough power to do this great thing. Look at those power cookies. Beautiful. And 2 rows of them. Oh, nice. Here the power cookies that come out of the electric air fryer. It's very tasty. And the proud cook. Frying bacon conventionally is always difficult, as the bacon curls up and wants to cook unevenly, but the air fryer makes it so easy with no turning required at all evenly cooked. Well, that's looking good.
That's looking good, isn't it?
How long's that been in for?
That's only 20 minutes.
20 minutes. So how long has that chicken been in the air fryer for? Or you haven't done any more?
Well, that was 20 minutes before, and I just gave it another 5 minutes with the sesames on top.
And here it is, coming off the induction cooktop. An air fryer is basically a very compact fan-forced oven. Its small size means that it heats up very quickly. This makes them very efficient. So when the air fryer is set to 180 degrees, it pulls 147 amps at 12 volts, or 1.8 kilowatts. When it reaches temperature, it cycles off and just runs the fan at around 100 watts. So in this way, even though it is pulling 147 amps intermittently, over the course of an hour it pulls just 60% of this at 87 amps. That for a feast. Everybody's excited.
Wow!
Look at that. What is it, Carolyn?
Roast pork and crackling, pumpkin, potatoes, sweet potatoes, applesauce, peas, and gravy.
Air fryer magic. Well, it's mostly cooked this dinner, but they still have to do a bit of electric cooking to make the rice and the fried tofu. So here we are with that roast bread.
We love electric cooking.
Don't we? So we've got a fairly overcast day here today, as you can see, and I'll just show you how much solar input we get on this kind of day. Meanwhile though, the engine battery is still at 85%. It's supplying all the house loads via the DC converter. So here is a typical sunny day with our 12 volt solar power input at one of its higher readings. So we're in now, we'll drop the sail. So this is what happens if you put 2 of our stoves on. And there we go, cuts off, shuts down. So this isn't a major problem at all, as the inverter quickly resets. But it does mean we can only use 1 cooker at a time with our 2000 watt inverter. So this is our battery setup that we have here for our electric cooking. We only have a 400 amp hour lithium ion battery there, which has a 250 amp a daily BMS, and down there is our 2000 watt inverter, which we could probably be running a 3000 watt inverter, would be better. and we wouldn't have the issue with the tripping out of the stoves when we run two of them. And also over here in the silver module there is the 600 watt DC to DC converter, which enables us to use the excess power from our electric motor battery. So that's basically our system there. Alright, so on Fantasia we have the most simplistic installation. Our cooktop is just simply sits in here with a small piece of wood to hold it, so you can easily pick it up like this and wipe away any crumbs that gather underneath like that. So it's very simple. And this air fryer has this simple system like this that holds it down and allows us to clean underneath simply like that. So of course one does need pots that are magnetic like this for the induction stoves to work. And also you can see our kettle there, which actually has small space between the rim and the bottom, but that doesn't matter at all, so the base doesn't have to come in contact with the element. I thought that was quite interesting when I was quite surprised how well this worked. So we are now 10 months into our solar electric journey, including an extended cruise of the Queensland coast. We have used our system through some very dark weather and still managed the power usage okay. During the cold winter nights, using this electric cooking still provided a nice amount of heat to warm the boat, much like our gas stove did. Our only gas bottle is still heavy with gas after 10 months cruising. Using solar electricity to cook with does require some planning. It's a matter of balancing battery levels with the forecast solar output to help decide your cooking plans. Only on rare occasions have we needed to fall back on our gas burner. So successful has our electric cooking setup been that we are now planning the removal of our heavy stainless steel 3-burner oven and grill to replace it with a simple wok-style single-burner gas cooker for those rare occasions we need a backup stove. We absolutely love using these new electronic cooking devices. The induction stove is very economical and extremely fast. The air fryer is also twice as quick as a conventional oven and thrills us every time with its restaurant quality results. The fact we are basically using the sun's energy to cook with is another exciting bonus. Within the first year alone, we have saved the price of the induction plate in our freedom from gas expenses, along with the work and time saved having to refresh our gas bottle. We have loved the evolution from the old smelly kerosene stoves to fancy gas cookers with grillers and ovens, and now this leap into electric cooking. Of the great technological advances that have improved life aboard, like the GPS and chart plotter, to the connectivity of the mobile phone, I rank electric cooking up there as a great leap ahead for life aboard a boat. So if you want to see more of this informative and entertaining sailing content, please like this video and subscribe to Fantasia Sailing. If you're looking for an inspiring read that embodies the very romance and essence of the sailing life, you will surely be enthralled by the Fantasia cruise adventures in Windward to Fantasia, which you can find on Amazon Books, and you'll see a link below. Enjoy your sailing!